This is Every Man 2K, content creator of Everybody Loves Strong Mama Chrissy and soncerae. I would like to thank you for sharing your time with me today. Shout out to all my chat room members and listeners who may be listening in your car, in the kitchen cooking, working out, or just listening while you work. Your time is greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell and set it to all. Again, I thank you and I hope you enjoy this presentation. This is Every Man 2K, host of the channel with the same name, and content creator of Everybody Loves Strong Mama Chrissy and Everybody Loves the Mamiana Gang. Both are located in the playlist from my homepage. Now, let's get to what we came here for. It's been busy in these YouTube streets lately, with especially for Olivia, who seems to be catching one L after another, after another, after another. In the words of my old pops when he's watching a disappointing football game, man, that joker can't win for losing. Do y'all realize that in a very short span of time, Liv has lost her man, lost her home, lost a diss track battle, lost her mind, and now I suspect she done lost 13 grand. That's right, she done lost 13 large, baby. And I have additional information that I will present to you today that backs my claim. In this video, we will hear from Olivia as she now triples down on her lie of home ownership. I will break down her lie piece by piece. We will then take a virtual road trip to the property and give it a good look and examination. And then I will review my past receipts and present the most current one for my grand closing. After closing, I will present a couple short story times with Every Man 2K to serve as a preview of my series that will debut next month. The series will be called Story Times with Ebony Man 2K. Now, I will leave a replay of this video for those who came to the premiere late, and I will be hosting the chat room for any discussions and questions that you may have. All right, this is Ebony Man 2K. Let's get it.
So this is anything, you feel me? You gotta grasp the tea. You really gotta, like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta really, and this is this gonna be my first reaction video. This is me. I'm gonna try not to be super biased. I'm just gonna say what I feel. So she said her new man start driving. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey Jazzy. Okay. You're so pretty. Thank you. Look, girl, look how nice. But we just gonna start. Let's just start with the house. We just gonna dive in, okay? We just gonna start from the house. So my thing is, I'm just gonna say this one thing about the whole entire thing, okay? Just one thing. So if you lease to own, and if you got a full refund, why is it that you said that you own the house and that you were scammed out of your money? Now, wait, follow me, because there's several stories. I think she deletes her. I delete my lives because I feel like it's more of an intimate kind of thing with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I be saying, but it best believe the story never changes. You feel what I'm saying? If the lives are deleted and somebody takes in, they're like, Ming's deleted live. Ooh, it will never change. The story I told will never change. Anything I said, I stand on everything I say, and that's on that, and that's on period, right? So several lives said several different things. One was saying that you was scammed out of your money, but one doesn't say that when they leave because
you ever had a dream you'd be willing to do anything for? Who does your hair?
they want to leave, or whatever she was saying in the video. I want to leave, whatever, right? I literally had to come home and sit and watch everything that y'all sent me because I was flabbergasted in a pod just like y'all was. So Because at first I started to feel bad. Honestly, I'm going to tell y'all just straight off the gate. I started to feel bad. The one video where she was sitting on the tub, filled the tub up, filled the whole damn tub up, okay? So at first I was like, maybe they in a small, like, environment or something like that, because I'm judging it by how she was sitting on the edge of the tub. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking maybe it's like, like, I don't know. I'm not even going to get into all that, okay? But I started to feel bad in that video. I'm just giving y'all like a gist of I was just giving you a gist of where my feelings was at, okay? So that video, I was like, oh, like someone sent it to me. Of course, I might as well just subscribe back, cause bitch, y'all send it to me like notifications, so I might as well just subscribe. But anyway, so I watched the video and I was like, oh, like I know that it's her fault. Like I know a lot of the shit is her fault, but I was like, oh, and you know how you have a heart because you know somebody or whatever, and you're like, okay, because I've known her a very long time, so I'm like, I felt a little bad in the situation, right? Didn't say nothing, whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna just watch this play out, whatever. Then this damn video about the house drops, and it's like, you still lying. It's still lies. There's still lies involved. Like I said, several lives say several different things. One live says that she was scammed, but then in this video, you just clear that up, that you got the money right away, right after you got a refund, that it was never a scam situation. It was just a lease to own, da 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 da. So why say all that and be like, you know what I'm saying, defensive about the house when you left the house because you wanted to leave the house, as you said, or whatever. Then there was another, what was the other story? What did she say? What was the second story? One was the scam about the house. The second story, oh,
Throughout life's big decisions,
What can I help you with today?
you need someone you can look up to.
and I had it at the tip of my tongue. After her gang can't see through her, then I don't know. Wonder if dude and Maurice, she said, y'all said, he is short, y'all. I know what the second one is. The second one was, I lost everything. Like, everything's gone. All of that. That was, I think there was actually 3 different stories. That was one of the stories. Lost everything. No, I'm not even talking about what was after you had time, after you got your lip injections, after you had, you know what I'm saying, time to simmer down, get settled and all that stuff, set up, equipment, whatever you need to do, film, edited, not even right after you filmed it, because you still took mass time to do all that, but then you didn't even edit it right then and there. You waited some weeks and then edited it and posted it. I'm not listening to the shit that you motherfucking post with all these motherfucking lives, and I'm just talking like as someone who was watching. What's your Cash App? I just switched my Cash App. So my new Cash App is the Bells Plus One, I believe. Yeah. Because Wing for King, my card isn't working, and I'm not about to do that. So I switched and got a whole nother card. You have, or one on the way. A great heart. I know the feeling, but some people have to go. No, I'm not even being me. I'm like I said, y'all know I said I'm going to start giving my little 2 cents on situations, so I'm just gonna say what I have to say. That's what I said. Can't come for me because I'm not even doing that. I'm just sitting watching. You posted it. I could have posted the whole video, you know what I'm saying, and reacted to it because you posted it, fair game, but I'm not about to do that. I'm just about to give y'all just a little sneak peek of, like, not even sneak peek, a whole full, how I feel, my opinion on the situation. I never felt sorry for her, just on the strength of how she throws shade at other females. See, this is the thing, though. Like, you can't stoop to people level. Like, if you are a compassionate person, if you are a sweet person, if you are kind-hearted, just because someone else isn't and someone else treated you a certain type of way or did something to you, that doesn't take away how you are internally and how you feel about situations. Like I said, I'm human. I have a heart. So that's certain stuff kind of hits me different, especially being a mom, being in situations where I lost everything and all that stuff or whatever. So that's why I think it's really funny when you say I lost everything, like I had to start all over, all this and that. But then you say in the video, I got refunded back my money. I didn't lose anything. Then you've been saying how my credit was fucked up. It was in the song. Wasn't it in the song? Wasn't something about? I don't remember. But listen, I heard several times out of her mouth that my credit was so bad and horrible, and you was making fun of it as if you know what I'm saying, had a 700, 800 score. And you say in the video that your credit score isn't up to par. I'm just trying to understand, do we even know this bitch? Like, honestly, does anyone know Olivia? Anybody? I don't think I knew Olivia at all. I don't think Chrissy knew Olivia at all. I don't think Jasmine knew Olivia at all. I don't think Gerard knew all of Olivia for real. Let's get into Gerard. Somebody told me something about this live. I didn't even see it. I had heard about this live that was deleted just recently. So apparently Gerard is supposed to be exposing her, right? And supposedly had sent something to some reactor about how he was going to expose her. So this is my take on that. Does he have a whole sister who is semi-reactor, semi-YouTuber, who would be the ideal platformer, ideal person and host for him to go in the same city that he lives in? For him to go and give his piece? Why would he go to this person who's dogged him, his relationship, his wife, his kids? You know what I'm saying? Why would he go to this random person and, oh, I'm going to expose her when he has a whole outlet, which is his sister, his whole relative who has thousands of people watching her. So I'm confused. Oh, those are not her real names. Miss Glenda. Miss Glenda, she sat up here and said I was trying to build a body and it built some lips. I'm blessed with these. I mean, y'all talk about my nose all you want. These is black features. Okay? I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you want it, get it. That's my motto. But she tried to downplay and try to tear apart, and I just did not love myself and all this low self-esteem. Honey, if I take my husband's phone and look through my husband's phone, I'm not running out no door. I'm not running in no car, driving off. Honey, I'm not doing none of that. Uriah has woken up to a phone flying straight in the facility of his facial region, smacked him right upside the head with a phone from across the room after I didn't look through a motherfucking phone. And I was like, I didn't even have Mimi yet. So I had to be like 20. Girl, I'm gonna read it right there. And I dare you to touch it, take it from oh, that shows me that you trying to hide something. If you hurrying up, you waking up out your sleep, I feel like she's touching my phone. Honey, that tells me that you're hiding something. And we're fighting just off of GP, just off of you feeling like she's touching my phone. We're fighting off of that, just off of those off of those emotions. You better be emotionless when I'm looking at your phone. You shouldn't shiver. There shouldn't be a what you doing. There shouldn't be what's looking over my shoulder. I shouldn't feel any breath on my neck. Not my shoulder, honey. I shouldn't feel a shiver with you over, like, you know how you feel so like somebody just standing over you. You feel real uncomfortable and you get agitated. I should be just as if it was a book, flipping through the what? If a man gonna cheat, best believe he gonna delete that shit. So unless you catch it before it's deleted, which probably isn't the case if a motherfucker gonna be coming over your house and trying to talk to you and trying to have sex with you and trying to sleep with you and trying to be around you. I'm pretty sure, especially if you're his what she say his code was her birthday, he'd have to be the dumbest, stupidest motherfucker in the whole planet. Okay, and I'm just watching. Like I said, I'm just watching. I'm just watching. And this is just me giving, my educated opinion. I'm gonna give y'all my educated opinion. I'm not giving y'all my ratchet opinion. I'm just got my glasses on, honey. People be like, "Oh, she look like a grandma, honey." I am giving you grandma advice. I'm giving older woman advice to someone older than me. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling really mature. You know what I'm saying? This is a mature read, okay? This is what this is. So you telling me after you snatched said phone, you jumped inside. Was it the Mercedes? Was it the Mercedes? She didn't cry a lot in that Mercedes. I'm gonna need you to get a Rolls Royce or something if you gonna cry that much. If I'm gonna cry that much over a nigga, I'm gonna need to be crying in you feel me? What's that song? Next time you cry, you're gonna be crying. Whatever the hell he said in Rolls. All I heard was next time you cry, you're gonna be crying at Rolls Royce. That's the type time I'm on. That's the type of energy. When you said keep the same energy, that's the type of energy I need if I'm gonna be crying back to back to back to back over a nigga who ain't giving a fuck about me. Who don't give a fuck about me, my health, my children. You know what I'm saying? Them being clothed, washed, fed, bathed, whatever she was saying. Like, honey, I'm just not. It's like I said, that one video had got me, and then these several series of videos that have just came out and pressed to the public has got me all the way twisted. Like the fact that she sat there and lied about so many things, and then sat and made videos like you didn't do these lives and you didn't say these certain things. None of this makes sense. It doesn't make sense. And then it's sounding very familiar. It's sounding very vague. It's sounding very much 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. When was that? Was it 3 weeks ago? Girl, I'm talking to myself. Yes, Susan, was it 3 weeks ago? Because that's how I'm feeling. It's giving me, no, ma'am. No. Go lay down. Yes, it's giving very much September vibes. That's the whole storyline that I'm getting. Very much September vibes. Very much 100K plaque, because that's the only thing you can brag about that everyone else has that you do not. This is getting to be a bit like a bit scripted, okay? And I'm just like, y'all think that we fake shit? We have storylines, we have this, and that. And you telling me that you grabbed your husband's phone and then just found out that he cheated on you? And you just, yes, he just, if I'm laughing, bitch, I'm laughing. I'm scratching my head with a knife. Y'all done seen it. Crying, laughing, crying, swinging a knife, talking, crying, laughing, pointing back. Bitch, I'm I'm just fucking confused. I'm crying laughing over here. The pregnancy. Oh Lord. Okay, y'all want the full reaction, huh? You haven't even been in Dallas long enough to get pregnant. And if you are pregnant, you wouldn't know until later on down the line, maybe a couple weeks from now. You haven't been there long enough. Who the fuck is Brandon? She hasn't been there long enough for none of this to be happening at all. Like, I'm starting to really believe that she is psychotic, that she literally plants things into people's ears, does things so that people... Why are you talking to me? I shouldn't hear you at all. No, I can't charge nothing. You can charge your eyes closed in your bed. Goodbye. Come back out here and act like you need something to drink again. You've been doing this for literally like an hour and a half now. What time is it? Probably longer. Get in the bed. Sorry, y'all. I'm just... she can charge herself. Yes. Good night. That's what happens when you close your eyes. You re-energize. Like a... a battery. Are you... Oh, she in the back. Girl, I thought she was trying to find... Now you have to pee? Now you have to pee? Okay. Y'all gonna see me show my ass tonight. Did you see the pic of the British? Listen, Linda. How many hoes, whores, sluts, several baby daddies, looking ass bitches and whores and hoes and all that? How many of them that she done called, Chrissy? How many of them did she done said that, oh, I'm married, da 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 da, but all of y'all, da da. How many times? How many times has being promiscuous been one of the things that she speaks on? But you openly, first of all, openly done told us a whole bunch of several different things. Like I said, when we was friends, and y'all done already heard, you know what I'm saying, the type she be on. But now you done told the public that you're a whore. That's what you did. I mean, you've been doing that. You've been, every time he leaves, you've been said, you know, Jail Bay, Maurice, you know what I'm saying? Who else? Damn maintenance people, girl, apparently any and everybody, the moving people, any and everybody that will be in 5 feet of you is getting some of that. You know, what? Every single thing that she has done and said, she turns around and does or says it and believes it. This is a sickness. This is not this is not normal. This is not okay. Y'all watching this, kikiing or that. This is seriously, honestly, that's why I'm just so calm and collected, because baby, you looking real crazy. It's not normal. None of this is normal at all. That's why I say it's scripted. That's why I'm going to continue to say it's scripted, because it sounds very familiar. It sounds very September.
This is Everyday Man 2K, host of the channel with the same name, and content creator of Everybody Loves Strong Mommy Chrissy and Everybody Loves the Mamiana Gang, both located on a playlist from the homepage. In this video, we will hear from the Reality of Me react to Olivia. Reality of Me wants to be a reactor now. Okay, so we're going to see about that. We're going to listen to her react to Olivia, trip it down on her lie of home ownership. And based on Ming's reaction, Ming is Team Ebony Man on this issue with Livia. I will also break down Liv's lie piece by piece. We will then take a virtual road trip to the property and give a good look and examination. And then I will review my past receipts and present ones for my grand closing. After closing, I will present a couple short story times with Ebony Man 2K to serve as a preview of my series that will become available next month. I will leave a replay of this video for those who came into the premiere late. And I will be hosting a chat room for discussions and any questions that you may have for me. Well, all right, this is Everyday Man 2K. Let's get it. Okay, on the screen now is a description of Olivia's old rental property that she had in Clearwater, Florida. The rental listing amount is $1,995 a month, and it's a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath at 1,300 square feet. The program she was in was a lease to own. The program allows a home buyer up to 36 months to qualify for a loan. All the while, they get to live in the home, and it is 100% of the down payment goes toward the purchase price. The monthly payment actually includes insurance, property tax, and homeowners association payments too. It is fully renovated, featuring a modern open floor plan and large pool calling your name. Upgrades include a new roof, Whirlpool stainless steel appliances, paired with new cabinets and gorgeous granite. Okay, now we're going to look at the source from Zillow.com. If you look at the top of the page, that is that address of question on Owen Drive in Clearwater, Florida. Now, Zillow has very valuable information. One of it is price history. A lot of people have not noticed that. But for every property that they have listed, they show a price history of events of that property, whether it be sold or rented. Okay, so let's go to price history that you see on the screen. But we're going to start from the bottom, from February 25th, and work our way up to present day to show all transactions that has been on this property since the February 2020 of this year. Now, it says on public record, right, that this property was sold on February the 25th, 2020. It was sold. Now remember that date because we're going to come back to it later. Then later on in April, it was listed for sale and was listed on in April and May, but no one bought it. And then the listing for sale was removed on May the 29th. Okay, so since they couldn't sell it, then in June 19th, 2020, they listed it for rent. And then in July 10th, it was removed. The reason why it was removed, because someone rented it. And that was Livia. It does not say sold. It says listing, remove, rent, and it was rented for that time. The only owner of this home for the entire year of 2020 was the person that bought it on February 25th, and that was not Olivia. She picked it up on July 10th as a renter at the rate of $19.95 per month. And then it even shows even more current date where it's listed again. She has moved out. She moved out around September 15th or so. Well, probably a little bit earlier because it was actually listed for rent on the 15th. So she probably moved out near probably the first of the month. So as you can see, this is a detailed listing, if you will, of the price history of this property for the most part of 2020. There is no listing or documentation that Olivia gained any type of ownership. The only ownership the only sole listing that it has was on February the 25th, 2020, at the very beginning of the year. And then from that point going forward, it was all rental, all rental, all rental. Olivia picked it up in July and she left it in September. Now, I say remember this February 25th date because we're going to come back to it a little bit later. Okay, guys, remember I told you, remember that February date 2020? And when it said that was the only date of sale for the year of 2020? Okay, well, here's the documentation for that. This is the warrant deed that was executed on the 21st of February 2020 from Wanda Weddington, who was the owner at the time, to a company. And that company is called Bay Capital Holdings, LLC. They are the ones that bought that house from the individual on February 2020. and they bought it for $179,000. Again, the owner of that house right now that bought it on February 2020 is Bay Capital Holdings, LLC. It is not Olivia. Okay? They bought it in February and was owning it for the rest of the year. And then later on that year, around May or so, they put it up for rent. And later on in the summer is when Olivia picked it up as a renter. She came in as a renter. She left as a renter. There was no sales transaction between Bay Capital Holdings, LLC, that bought it in February 2020 to Olivia. There's no sales transaction. No ma'am, no sir. The only thing Bay Capital Holdings offered to Olivia was a rental agreement. Now, it may have been some mix of a rental or rent to own, but at no point did Olivia have any ownership of that home. Now, I think what happened is she probably agreed to some type of rent to own with a down payment of $13,000. And I hope she got that $13,000 back. Because if not, then all they did was took her lunch money. They saw her coming down from Texas, down I-10, and said, yeah, we got us one. And I think her anxiety right now is that $13,000 may be tied up to some type of agreement that she had with these guys. And that's why she wants somebody to come in and buy the home that can break her out of this agreement that she has. I got a feeling she got $13,000 tied up. Because it's my understanding that once you get into an agreement like that in terms of a rent to own, you got to go through some type of period where you got to be in good faith and trying to find some type of funding for the home. I think you have to be in good faith, go out to banks and try to see if they can approve you for a loan for the home. And I think she can't get it approved, and that $13,000 is being held up. And that's why she's stressing. So I'm hoping she got a way to get out of that agreement and get that $13,000, because that ain't nothing to brag about. I mean, she keep bragging about, well, I put $13,000 now. I put $13,000. Then you put $13,000 on something that you ain't got nothing to show for. You put $13,000 down on something that you can't even show for. You have absolutely no ownership of that home. None. And $13,000 is a lot of money. And here's the thing that I've learned about rent to own agreements, that they only look good on paper. I've owned a home for over some 20 years. I've been in a position where I've been a landlord and I've talked about rent to own before. They never come to fruition. They never come to. It all sounds good on paper. Because when you think about it, if a person does have $13,000, and if they can make $2,000 a month in a sort of payment, they would just go ahead and be a person that can buy a house. I mean, why would you agree to that? If you sitting really on 13 grand and you really can make $2,000 a month in a payment, then there's no need to be in a rent to own situation. You can just try to own. So listen, I don't know what she has done, but I'm telling you right now, she's a liar. She's a liar. She does not own no property nowhere in Florida, and she definitely don't own this one here in Clearwater with this address. Again, this property belongs to Bay Capital Holdings, LLC, and they've been owning it since February 2020. Okay, so this is another piece of information from the Pinellas County Tax Assessor Office that supports what I just said, right? Now, this has been updated on September 26, 2020, which is just a couple days ago. So this is the most recent information on that property in Clearwater, Florida, where Olivia claims she owns that house, right? Okay, if you look at the top of the page on the right, you see that address on Owen Drive. On the left, tell me what you see as far as ownership. I tell you what you don't see. You don't see no Olivia somebody on there, do you? No, you do not. Again, the owner of that home as of September 26th is Bay Capital Holdings LLC, located in Tampa. That's their office. But they own that property on Owen Drive in Clearwater, Florida. And this matches up with that deed that you just saw earlier that was executed on February 2020. And it also coincides with Zillow.com, where it says it was sold in February 2020. So again, every piece of information I have provided you today matches up. And in closing, I want to be clear. In February 2020, this property on Owen Drive in Clearwater, Florida, was bought by Bay Capital Holdings LLC. Then it was listed for rent, and Olivia picked it up as a renter. And there is some ambiguity in terms of what type of rental agreement she had, because it could have included a rent-to-own. But she has never owned it. She has never owned it. So wherever $13,000 she put down, it has been for naught. She has nothing to show for it. And I think that's where the embarrassment really lies. Instead of just saying I might have blown 13,000, she's gonna say, no, I did use 13,000, but now I own the home. No, ma'am, no, sir. No, you do not. Because I got 3 pieces of information here from legitimate sources that say otherwise. Well, all right, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Here's that candy, that Jolly Rancher. Here is that lick. What you see on screen now is a copy of a rent-to-own lease agreement as governed by the state of Florida. The specific lease agreement that Olivia signed should be almost identical to the one we see here on screen, in that both of them were written specifically with respect to the rules and laws of the state of Florida. Now, I have already read through this document, and it reads just like a typical rental agreement in the beginning, as it refers to the basics like the rent amount, the term of the agreement, the security deposit, etc. But the agreement ends with a section that covers the elements of the purchase option. That section is number 24, and we can start from there. So, pull up your screen on full view as we review together item number 24, points A, B, and C from this agreement. Okay, this is the option to purchase provisions, starting at number 24 from the rental agreement. And it reads as follows. Number 24, option agreement. Landlord grants to tenant an option to purchase the leased property herein on terms and conditions as follows. A, term of option. At any time during the lease term described in this agreement, tenant may elect to purchase the leased property, including the personal property located thereon. In the event tenant defaults in the terms and conditions of the agreement, including but not limited to non-payment of rent or other violation of the conditions of the lease portion of the agreement, the option to purchase shall automatically terminate without further notice from the landlord to the tenant. B, exercise of option. Tenant shall have the right to exercise this option only by delivering to the landlord a written notice of exercise of this option at any time during the lease term, unless sooner terminated as outlined therein. C, and this is probably the most important part of the whole thing. Okay, so let's look at this carefully. C. Option payments and purchase price. As consideration for the granting of this option to purchase, the real estate tenant agrees to pay to landlord the amount sum and the execution of this agreement. The option payment in the amount of whatever they agreed to, out of which full rental paid by tenant shall be credited against the purchase price, hereinafter stated at the time of closing. Okay, the total purchase price, subject to any credit stated, is payable in cash or cashier's check, certified check on the date of the closing. This shall not prevent the tenant from seeking financing from any third party for part or all of the purchase price. However, the ability to obtain financing or the favorability of the terms thereof shall not be or create any contingency on the performance of the terms thereof by the tenant. Okay, the option amount in the amount of whatever they agreed to, given therein from tenant to landlord, is non-refundable to tenant. Let's read that one more time. The option payment in the amount agreed, given that herein from the tenant to the landlord, is non-refundable to the tenant in all events except the failure on the part of the landlord or inability of the landlord to transfer the property to the tenant at closing, as further set forth in paragraph 24. No part of rental payment shall be refundable to tenant for any reason. I know this is a lot of legal verbiage, but this last part is very important, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of break it down what it's saying. It is saying that when you decide to go into this agreement, that amount, which for Olivia would have been $13,000, is non-refundable. And the only way she can get her money back is due to the fault of the landlord. Like the landlord would have to slip up on this deal or do something wrong or couldn't provide the property in a proper manner for her to say, okay, well, I want my money back. But she cannot get her money back if something goes wrong on her end. The way this is written from the perspective to protect the interests of the landlord, because the landlord is bringing this agreement to Olivia, not the other way around. So they are writing this agreement in terms of how you handle the payment in the best interest of the landlord. Because it clearly states right here that once you make that payment, good, bad, or indifferent, it's gone. So it's in your best interest to go ahead and try to get a loan at a bank and go ahead and see it through. Plus, if you don't, you still don't get your money back. That means if you don't go through with getting your loan and going through the process of purchasing this home, that $13,000 is gone. The only way you get that $13,000 back is as if the landlord did something wrong. But in this case, more than likely, this is a company they got all this stuff together. They ain't making no mistakes to lose no $13,000. They ain't making no mistakes to lose no $13,000. They gonna make sure all their I's are dotted and T's crossed to make sure they get the $13,000. I mean, you gotta look at it from their perspective. They wrote this agreement so they can't lose. They probably already knew that Olivia ain't got no good credit. So they wrote the agreement up where they can't lose. Well, okay, let her go ahead and put the $13,000 to see if she bought it. She did that part, so they got $13,000 off at the beginning. And then it can only get better if she gets approved. If she gets approved, okay, that's cool too. Now instead of $13,000, now we got the balance of the $179,000, whatever they're charging. But the worst case scenario is that they would have 13 and still had the 100% of the property. That's still not that bad. Hell, $13,000 is about 6 to 7 months worth of rent. So they got the $13,000 for Olivia, kicked her out, They sitting on 13, and then they still can go and rent it out on a month to month, 6 months or a year to somebody else. Because they already got 13 in the pocket. Olivia got her lunch money took, y'all. Olivia got her lunch money took. These folks stood out on Interstate 10 waiting for her to come down the interstate from Texas with their hands out like, we got us one today, y'all. They already knew the game. Because they already knew that she probably has money, but she ain't got no good credit. So let her go ahead and fill out this paperwork. You do what you got to do, baby girl, and just give us the 13. Because at the end of the day, we can walk away with this 13 and we still Gucci. But Olivia, she shit out of luck. And I think what done happened is she filled out that application and probably wasn't too truthful about it. She probably used old boy's salary to support that she had enough salary to pay rent. Somewhere down between them two, where he said, I ain't paying nothing. And now she by herself. And she can't go back and tell them, hey, I put down that my boyfriend or husband, whatever he is, was gonna pay half the rent, but he can't do it no more. And she can't get all jump and try to take them to court. Because what could end up happening is they say, okay, well, let's go to court and let's review your paperwork. And so by jumping on them and taking them to court, and trying to get them and trying to corner them on something, it's going to end up blowing back in her face. Because I got a feeling she done inflated her income with old boy's income, or told some type of lie where she can get the deal. And then they're going to end up finding out that she was participating in some fraud. So hey, that's just my opinion, man. But I think it's within reason. I think it's plausible. I think she filled out a bogus application. I think she really did put 13,000 down. I think she, old boy Gerard, I think he kind of left the situation and left her holding the bag. And now she don't know what she want to do because she can't really get all jumping and take somebody to court because that's gonna put her and that's gonna expose what she did. And from what I understand in terms of these real estate deals, that when you're in real estate, people don't play around. It ain't no, I can get my money back if I can try to do this and that, and maybe I can get my money back, or maybe I get 50% back. I ain't never heard of that. All I heard is once you put the money down, it's 100% non-refundable. So hey, that's what I think done happened to Olivia. She done lost the money, and she all depressed because she can't get it back. And I think I heard somebody say, well, how she get, her U-Haul truck and she in another place? That ain't 13,000 worth of stuff, y'all. I mean, that's, a couple thousand here and there. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of dollars. It ain't no 13,000. I mean, 13,000 that's almost like a little Hyundai. You can do something with 13,000, but this little U-Haul stuff she doing, that's just, small money. I mean, you can lose $13 and still do what she doing is what I'm saying. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little short story about what I've done in a situation like this, and we're gonna see if we can apply. So give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, so here's a short story time that I'm going to give to you that is relative to the matter at hand with Olivia. Now, I said I will only start my story times when I feel that donations were up to par. Because to give my identity and personal stories only to expose myself to liabilities, big or small, the juice has to be worth the squeeze. As of right now, the level of participation in donation is moderate, in that I am still getting donations, but from the same select group of private donors. We need somebody to stand and step up, because this same group has been carrying the weight for some time now. And if you're really serious about supporting me and my efforts and funding new offerings like my story times, then you should consider donating whatever you can. Even if it's just $5, please consider donating as much as you can afford. Okay, around 2008, I had just gotten into a position financially where I could afford to invest in outside business ventures. I had liquid capital in the bank. I had access to more capital from relationships and banking, and I had years of project management experience. So I pursued going after a franchising opportunity with a company that we will call the Up Store for now, because I don't want to identify the real identity of the franchise. But for now, we'll call it the Up Store. And the Up Store is a competitor to the Postal Service, and they are located in mid-class to upper-class shopping centers. Okay? So you should know who the Up Store really is. Now, an average Up Store has a very unique business model. They will pretty much ship anything and offer above and beyond customer service. I'm sure you have noticed that when you go inside an Up Store, the store manager is always moving frantically and seem to be a bit stressed out. That is the nature of that business. Well, I took that into consideration in pursuing buying a franchise of my own in Atlanta. In doing so, I had to put money down in escrow for purchase of the business in the same manner that LIV had to put money down for the purchase of the home. One of my requirements before closing was for me to receive full documentation of financial reports for my review. Now, they dragged their feet a little until they finally sent me year-end financials. Now, I already know that you can hide a lot when you just have an annual report that shows profit. I needed to see month-to-month financials to see what's really going on, because monthly and weekly reports show any cash flow issues. So after I put money down in escrow, I finally got my monthly reports. And sure enough, they showed that a typical Up Store loses money the entire year, but makes it up all in 2 months in November and December as the volume of packages multiply for the holidays. For the rest of the year, the store manager covers any losses with his own money and floats the operation until he can make good in those last 2 months. Now, as a single guy without a spouse to give me a financial cushion, and due to the fact that I don't like stress, I chose to back out of the deal. And I didn't know how to do it. So I took my paperwork to my attorney, and he explained that in agreements you have to look for trigger points. You have to find actions in the agreement that can activate what you want to happen. Well, we found one. In the agreement, it stated that you can get 50% of your escrow money back if you make a good faith effort to seek funding and can't get approved. So I was advised by my attorney to say nothing about the financial stuff. Just play the funding part out, and you're going to get what you wish for with the same outcome. So I went to banks I knew were out of my league, and I got letters of disapproval. I even went to one of my homeboys who worked in banking and told him to deny me. He was confused, but I explained to him later what was going on. So my advice to LIV today is to review your lease to own agreement and see if there is some provision that allows you to get out of the deal with some or all of your money. I know that this situation is rare, but hopefully you can find that lease agreement trigger that will ultimately help you stop being that broke nigga. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Everyday Man 2K, and this concludes my presentation. I will leave a replay for those who came in late to the premiere, and I will now go into the chat room to answer any questions. All right. Peace. This is Ebony Man 2K. This is Freaknik 1994 at Piedmont Park, Atlanta. My toes are pedicured in Timberland sandals. I am poloed down with polo Bermuda shorts, polo t-shirt, polo cap, and a hoop earring in my left ear. Now, even though I'm poloed down, I'm wearing heel figure cologne. Because for whatever reason, that heel figure cologne emanating off my chest and off my shoulders is that candy. It's that lick. Now, I just met the girl to the left of me. She is a senior at Spelman, and she want to know, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? I tell her 30. She say, I'll give you 50. Ladies and gentlemen, I am anxious to give you the rest of this story and more about Freaknik and dating in Atlanta in my series, Storytime with Ebony Man 2K. But as I mentioned in previous videos, as I step up my game, I ask that you step up yours. My donations right now are not bad. The same people are donating modestly, and I appreciate their support morally, spiritually, and financially. But now it's time for you to step up and join the fold. Whenever you get to a comfortable spot with me and your finances, I ask that you consider donating to support me in my efforts with this channel. I have already created an entertaining collection of videos on soncerae, Strong Mama Chrissy, the Mamiana Gang, the Viper Pit, and Good Vibes Only music sessions. You can go to my playlist right now to see I ain't lying. And if I add story times with 2K, it will require additional production costs with the sorting and management of hundreds of media files. And let's be clear now. My stories are valuable. I have landed deals after sharing my stories with clients. I have been the talk of dinner parties with my stories. And I have kikied my way with some high caliber women with my story times. If I start these story times, you will not get enough of Ebony Man 2K. Now, I will leave you with my Cash App and PayPal handles later on in this video. The links to my PayPal and Cash App are in the description box below and at the top of the comment section. You can also super chat me if you choose to do so. And soon, I will be offering a membership option through Google Pay. All right, folks, let's get to what we came in for. I will add replays for those who came in the premiere late, and I will be available in the chat room for those who have any questions or just want to chop it up with me and others. All right, let's go. This is Ebony Man 2K. We're about to go into our chat and music session. But first, if you would like to donate via Cash App, the Cash App ID is $EBMN2K. That's $EBMN2K. If you'd like to make a donation via PayPal, send it to paypal.me/EBMNTWOK. That's paypal.me/EBMNTWOK. And if you'd like to send it via Venmo, send it to @EBMN2K. That's @EBMN2K. Thanks. And let me add one more thing. Direct links to all of my accounts, including PayPal and Cash App are located in the description box and at the top of my comment section. You can just click on the link to donate. Also, Super Chat is on as a feature at the bottom of the chat box in the chat room if you would like to donate there, with a highlighted chat post with super stickers and animation. Super Chat is new to my channel, so you should give it a try. Thanks. We're about to go into our chat and music session. If you're new to my channel, you should come by to the chat room and introduce yourself. I mean, if you're going to fix a plate and eat my food, you should at least stop by the grill and dap me up. Let me know you're having a good time. If you're watching this in playback, I recommend that you just keep doing what you're doing and just let the music rock out. Just let it rock out and relax, bro. All right, let's go.